Right, hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video. I'm very excited to be making this video because we're going to be looking at Rust. We're going to be playing around with Rustlings, okay? And I'm going into this with virtually no understanding as to what Rust offers. I've heard of key terms such as the borrow checker. I've heard of the concept of borrowing and ownership, but I don't know what they really mean. So really I'm going into this with very little understanding. All I know is that Rust is a ultra-safe programming language. It requires you to put up a fight with the compiler beforehand. So quite literally, you have to get your code, somewhat safe before you can compile it and run it. But then again, that may not be true. I don't know. Again, I'm a beginner. You can comment and let me know where I'm going wrong with things. As always, it's a community channel. Let me know where I'm doing wrong and I'll learn from you guys, okay? But if you've been following me for a little bit of time, you would have known that I've been doing a little bit with Odin. Okay, so I'm looking for C alternatives. I'm always open to learning new languages and new technologies. And I thought one day I bit the bullet and I thought, right, I'm going to look at Odin. I installed Odin. I loved it. It was very fun. And you guys seem to enjoy it as well. That led to me trying out Zig. And Zig, at first, I disliked the language, in all honesty. But then I somewhat came around to the idea of actually being very explicit. With Ziglins, which was fantastic, which is why I'm trying Rustlings now, actually. But the issue that I had with Zig, and I've kind of gone back on my initial thoughts, which, by the way, I'm still in this weird period when I'm learning Zig and playing around with it. But you just have to be, it's just such a verbose language. And people in the comments have said before that it's very much like C++, where you have to be, again, extremely explicit about what it is you want to do. And that can become a bit tedious. It removes the simplicity of C, which I kind of liked. It made learning C a fun, it makes it a fun experience. And I think people have lost their patience with Zig. Doesn't mean that I'm completely off it. Again, I'm still in the early days of trying out these languages, but we'll see what happens. Right, so what we're going to do then first is we're going to create a folder called Rustlings and cd into that. And then what we're going to do is do cargo install Rustlings. I don't know if I've done this beforehand. I did not. And that's another thing I've heard of as well. Cargo, which is the package manager. So yeah, I'm interested to learn a little bit about Rust because it's been introduced into the Linux kernel. It was described the other day in the news, I'm pretty sure, as no longer just experimental. So it's going to be something that's going to play a major role in the Linux kernel and so on. Okay, right, so that seems to be done. Now if I cd into Rustlings, I've got two Rustlings folders, I don't know what I'm doing. And if we start by just typing in Rustlings, okay. Right, so is this your first time? Don't worry, Rustlings is made for beginners. We're going to teach you a lot of things about Rust, but before we can get started, here are some notes about how Rustlings operates. The central concept behind Rustlings is that you have to solve some exercises or solve exercises. These exercises usually, I don't know why the writing's gone a bit like that. If I just do this, maybe it'll make it a bit better. There we go. Right, so the central concept behind Rustlings then is that you solve exercises. These exercises usually contain some compiler or logic errors, which cause the exercise to fail compilation or testing. It's your job to find all the errors and fix them. Make sure that you have an editor open in the Rustlings directory. Rustlings will show you the path of the current exercise under the progress bar. Open the exercise file in your editor, fix errors, and save the file. Rustlings will automatically detect the file change and rerun the exercise. If all errors are fixed, Rustlings will ask you to move on to the next exercise. Okay, if you're stuck on the exercise, enter H to show a hint. If an exercise doesn't make sense to you, feel free to open an issue on GitHub, and we will look at every issue, and sometimes other learners do too, so you can help each other out. So that's pretty cool. By the way, I don't know why they had lings to the end of, like, Ziglins and Rustlings. I don't know if it was created by the same people. I don't know. I've looked into that. So pretty much then it looks like we're just going to have to work our way through it in this sense. So press enter. So let me just double check that I understand where we're going. So open the exercise file in your editor, fix the errors, save the file. So it's very similar to what we were doing with Ziglins, and Rustlings will automatically detect the file change and rerun the exercise. Okay, so it does it for us. Okay. Right. So this exercise compiled successfully. The remaining exercises contain a compiler logic error. The central concept behind Rustlings is to fix the errors and solve the exercise. Good luck. The file of this exercise is exercise 00 intro1.rs. Have a look. The current exercise path will be open. Will always be shown under the progress bar. You can click the path to open the exercise file in your editor. Right, okay, so what do I do then? Do I just click next? Could not compile. So how do I open it then? Do I just press enter? Or do I need another terminal open? CD exercises, maybe that's why. Right, okay. Neovim, oh, let's just ls first. Neovim 00 intro. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing here. Am I meant to be in here? To do, right. We sometimes encourage you to keep trying things on a given exercise, even after you already figured it out. If you got everything working and feel ready for the next exercises, click enter in the terminal. Okay, right. So, right. Okay, fix the code below. Right, I think I know this one. That's interesting because if I do this then, and I go here, it did, yeah, okay. All right, okay, that's quite interesting. It's probably best that I have split terminal. Right, I just had to check something because I was just curious about how, so I didn't know how you go about learning Rustlings alongside doing it, but I suppose we just got to figure it out a little bit. I've got documentation open in the background, so if we need to resort to that, we can. Right, so introduction's complete. It was just hello world. We now need to work through these, which is effectively, what are we on? Variables. So we're going to do that now. So I guess we can just open it up this way. Fill open, that'd be great. Right, okay, so let's do this one first then. Right, so the first thing we have to do is declare a variable. Add the missing keyword, so I'm assuming that's let. And that should be it, I think. So if I close that down. Great, so that's working. Yeah, right, okay. So that's pretty cool. Let's go on to the next one. So I don't know why that... Right, okay. Change the line below to fix the compiler error. So we have let x, if x is equal to 10, print line x is 10, else print x is not 10. So what's the issue there then? All right, okay, wait. We just haven't assigned value to x, right? So if I just do this, is that right? It's not working. Okay. Yeah, okay, that works. Okay, so we have to change it as we go along. That's fine. Right, so again, let's have a look at number 3 now. Let x, so we're giving it the type integer 32. But we haven't given it a value. Is that what the issue is? I'm assuming if I just do something like this, should work. Let's try that. Okay, it's a little bit different to Ziglin's. I think in terms of how Ziglin's is laid out, in all honesty, I so far prefer that just because it gives you a bit more context in there. But I mean, it's straightforward stuff. I'm just clearly spoilt. I want more. What are we on now? So that was 3. We're on 4. Okay. Fix the compiler error. So we have let x equals 3. We're printing that out, and then we're saying x equals 5, but we're not changing that. Do we have to add the mutable keyword there? I don't know where we do that though. Okay, this is where this documentation might come in handy. So mutability, I'm assuming we're going to, yeah, let mut. Okay. Just curious as well what Rust people call that. Do they say let mut? I don't know. Or let mute. Right, but okay, that seemed pretty straightforward. Hopefully you got that right. Okay, perfect. Yeah, for those of you who don't know who, again, aren't programmers, I forget, the reason why I started this channel is because I was a beginner at one point learning C. So for those of you who don't know, mut just means mutability, so it means you can change that variable. That's all that means. Right, so we're on 5 now. So far, so good. Let number equal 3. So we don't change that, that's a string. We're printing that out. And then we have another variable called number. Fix the compile error by changing the line below without renaming the variable. Okay, that's an interesting one. Right. Without changing the variable. Okay, I don't know what we do here. I might have to ask for a hint. So I'm going to call on my first hint then. Did it give me it? Oh, there we are. In Rust, variable bindings are immutable by default, but here we're trying to reassign a different value to x. There's a keyword that we can use to make a variable binding mutable instead. Is it just mut again? Is it that? So in Rust, variable bindings are immutable by default, but here we're trying to reassign a different value to x. There's a keyword that we can use to make a variable binding mutable instead. I'm assuming that's right. We'll give it a go, see what happens. Next. Yeah, okay. Okay, pretty straightforward. I just assumed because the last one, unless I cheated the last one, I'm not sure. So that was 5, wasn't it? So we're on 6 now. Right. Change the line below to fix a compile error. So we have const, so number 3. Right, const is an interesting one because it's coming up as if it's a keyword, but I just assumed that everything was a constant in Rust unless you explicitly say that it's not. So if I just do that, I can't. Okay, there we go. Right. Okay, I don't know what's happening yet. Right. Okay, let's try that, see what happens. What am I doing next? No. Let cannot be used for global variables. Consider using static const instead of let. Then what was wrong with the program initially then? Let's try that again. Wait, there's a readme file? Did I look at this? Variables are immutable by default. Okay, right, that is documentation there. And that's the Rust documentation, I'm assuming. So, right, okay. Right, let's have a look at this one again then. So, if I just change this to const and just run it a second, oops. I don't know what I'm doing. Right, let's get up to this. Making a mess of it. Right. So, right, okay, we haven't specified a type. Do you have to specify a type? So help provide a type for the constant. Okay, let's do that then. So we'll just do I30. Do we have to do this beforehand or after? I think it's after. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So that's the first lot done then. That's pretty straightforward. So let's go into the functions questions then. Right. So call me, don't change this line. Add some function named call me without arguments or return value. So do we just do fn? I don't know if I can place this function anywhere. Can I just do that? So if I do next. Right, we still need the body. Okay, right. Okay, one thing that I will say I've noticed is that it's given me a lot of information from the compiler as to where I'm going wrong, which is quite handy. So maybe that's why it's not giving me much hints beforehand. Again, I don't know if this is meant to be for somebody who's read the documentation. I have clearly not. There we are, perfect. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Right, to do then, add the missing type of argument num after the colon. Okay, add the missing type of the argument num after, right, okay, yeah, here. So we'll just add in, can it just be anything? We'll just call it, I32, and that should be fine. For some reason, sometimes it's checking and sometimes it's not. Yeah, okay, that worked. Right, let's have a little look at that one again, because I kind of rushed through that. I need to make sure that I'm focusing on what the language is doing. That was number 2. Right, I enjoy doing this sort of stuff. I mean, I know it's very entry-level stuff, but it's quite fun to look at different languages, see how they differ, and so on. Right, okay, so we have a function called callMe, and that is taking in a number, which is of type I32. We have to be explicit and say what that is. For I in 0, ... num, print line, and then we're just effectively incrementing every time. And we call that 3 times. Perfect. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Nothing funny going on there. I don't know what's happening. I'm doing this all the time. Right, let's go on to 3 then. Right, fix the function call. So, does it matter how many times I call it? I just call it 3. Okay, let's try that. Did it work? Yeah, okay, that worked as well. Okay, that was very similar to the last. Wait, did I just run the last one? No, it's different. This store is having a sale where if the price is an even number, you get 10. Rust bucks off. Okay, I read that weirdly then. It's just the way my ghosty terminals align things. Right, rust bucks off. But if it's an odd number, then it's 3 rust bucks off. Don't worry about the function bodies themselves. We are only interested in the signatures for now. Okay, so if it's even, do I have to add the function, or is it just? Oh, right, no, we're just doing else. Right, okay. Fix the function signature. Okay, I've not used that. You'd heard of that term before. So function signature then, fn sale price takes in the price. The price is going to be 51 via the main function. Your sale price is 51, so it's just going to take 10 off that. Right. Is it just what we're returning? So do I have to just do something like I64? Oops. Is that what it means? I'm not sure. Let's try it. Yes, that is what happens. Okay, right, awesome. Makes sense. And I think, was that the last one, or was it one more for the functions? Do you know what, this is much more straightforward. I didn't give Ziglin a fair chance Zig a fair chance, sorry, because I started by just learning, well, actually, it depends how you look at it. I started by quite literally just running a Hello World program, which you could view as, yeah, that's very simple. But because of the I/O interface and because I've not understood why that is a thing in the first place, I actually understood the reason afterwards, and something I haven't mentioned in the video. I don't mean to, people may say, taint this video by talking about Zig, but right, the I/O interface then is all because of an issue that I never have come into contact with, because I'm like I said, I'm not a software engineer by practice, but it's function coloring. And for those of you who don't know the idea behind function coloring, I hope I'm not butchering this, because I'm sure there's some expert programmers watching it, I hope. But if I'm wrong, you can clear up my misunderstandings in the comment below. So the idea is then you have async and you have await. And async means that while something is happening, you can perform other tasks. And then you have await then, which is effectively just waiting for a task to be complete. So it's very much like the low-level idea of polling. So for those of you who aren't familiar with polling, it's effectively where you're waiting for a task to be completed. So that's similar to await. So, for example, the CPU can only do one thing, it'll focus on that thing, and whilst it's waiting, nothing else can be done. That's the idea of polling. It's equivalent. Like if I was going to give an analogy, I'm sorry to get away from the programming here, but if I was to give an analogy, it's similar to if I was waiting for a text and I was just looking at my phone the whole time, okay? So that would be the idea of polling. I'm not going to do anything until I get that text to come through. And then you have interrupts then, which are effectively, you wait until your phone buzzes and then you'll deal with that task and then you can put it down. So it's effectively just the general idea then is await is waiting for something to get done. Asynchronous we can perform our tasks in time. And I didn't know that effectively that issue is why the whole function, the function coloring issue is why the IO interface exists. I didn't know that. I didn't get why the IO interface was there. And it can be very frustrating for beginners, including myself here, like to invest time to learn a language when you don't see the value of something. We'll all pay the price of doing something complicated if we can see the value in it. And for me personally, I couldn't see the value of it, but it makes a lot of sense why people do, like Mitchell Hashimoto, who speaks highly of it. I can understand how people do like the language for that reason. But again, it's frustrating for us beginners. Now, with Rust, again, so far it looks extremely simple, like C, but I know it can get messy. I've heard of things like traits and what implements a trait. I know there's some complexities with that. So, again, we'll see where this goes. It's very early days. I just enjoy doing this, so I enjoy learning a language in this sense. Right, so function then. So we've got a function here which is taking in a number, it's squaring it, it's sending it back. We've got the right type there, although do we have the right type? Because it may be sending, we may need... Right, so fix the function body. Right, do we need a return here? Is there a return statement? Yeah, return. So let's try that now then, next. Okay, no, that's not right. Okay, let's take a hint there. So this is really common error that can be fixed by removing one character. Okay, let's open this back up and see what's going on. So we're on 5, I believe. Okay, so this is a really common error that can be fixed by removing one character. It happens because Rust distinguishes between expressions and statements. Expressions return a value based on their operands, and statements simply return a left-right parentheses type, which behaves just like void. Right, so the two solutions: add the return keyword, which I just did, and that didn't work. Or did I spell it wrong? Which is very possible that I've probably done that. No, I can't have because it was highlighted. Or remove the semicolon. Really? Is that all you have to do? Wow, what the hell? What? I'm gonna have to go back and have a look at that. Why? It's not gonna show me the hint now, is it? Oh no, it will. Right, okay. Right, so we want to return a value with the type of, so it's going to be a 32-bit integer from the square function, but it is returning the type. What does the return the type left and right parentheses mean? There are two solutions. You can either add the return keyword, which I did, which it clearly didn't want me to do. Maybe that's why. Or just by removing the semicolon. Okay, that's interesting. That's something that'll take a little bit for me to get my head around. Oh, no. Okay, right, I thought I was going to lose my position of where I am. Right, okay, that's fine. Okay, so that makes no sense at all, but we'll ignore that for now. Right, what are we on now? We're on 0.3, which is if statements. Okay. You know what, right, I honestly think that if I wasn't going to, because again, I just so I can edit these videos and get them out on time. Okay, I don't know what the hell's going on here either. We'll ignore that. But yeah, I genuinely feel like I could have got through this in an afternoon if I had the time to. But this is something, again, I could probably do on a live stream, which I've been talking for quite a while, but I haven't been doing. So we'll look into that. But we'll move on to this for now then. Right, complete this function to return the bigger number. If both numbers are equal, any of them can be returned. Do not use another function call or additional variables. Okay, so I have to complete this function now. So that is going to be interesting. So we're going to say if A is equal to B. Oh no, we'll leave that for last. We'll say if A is, so what's it ask? If A is greater than B, then we will return A. Is it else if? Else if, is that right? Else if, oh, I haven't even added in the statement. That'd be nice if I'd done that. A is, oops, A is less than B, then we will return B, else, that's so sloppy the way I've written this, but we'll ignore that for now. We'll just, what does it say? If they're equal, if both numbers are equal, any of them can be returned. Is there a way else? Can I just do return A? Does it really matter which one I return if they're the same? Let's try that. I've probably done something very wrong there, but we'll see now. Yeah, okay. That's just, yeah. Right. Remove return. Could we just do that? I mean, in theory I could, because that's what happened in the last activity. Remove the parentheses. Okay, again, just something that I'm just not used to, clearly. What am I doing? Stop it. If A, let's do that. I mean, it does look a bit minimalistic, I suppose, but right, unnecessary parentheses, remove these. That is quite nice, so about the compiler, the fact that it's giving me all this information. That is something you do miss with. Okay, I wasn't far off. That was probably a very C-like bit of coding that I'd done there, but who knows. Yeah, generics and traits. Yeah, I've heard a lot of these terms I've heard of. And again, if I can, as I go through, I'll try and put up little bits of information as we go along about what they mean, and we'll figure out together. I'll be looking at it post video when I'm editing and such like that. Right, okay, on to this one then. So fix the compiler error on this function. Okay, so it looks like we're dealing with, I'm not going to say pointers because I think it's different in Rust, but references I think is the term they use. Right, so we've got a function called pickEater, which takes in food and it will return a string. So if the food is strawberry, then we're going to say yummy. Otherwise, we're going to return a 1. I don't know what the hell's going on here. So read the test to understand the desired behavior. Okay, so these are tests. So it does look, there's a lot of syntax here, isn't there? That is just a bit messy. But again, I'm sure there's value behind all this. And we can experiment here. Okay, right, so we're going to do function yummy food, where we're going to write asserts, which I know what asserts are. It's effectively purposely crashing the program, or at least in C, it's where you crash the program, or just to ensure that logic makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, we crash the program. So that makes sense. Yummy food, neutral food, and disliked food. Function disliked food. So we've got broccoli, gummy bears, literally anything. No thanks, no thanks. Okay, so I genuinely don't know what we're meant to be adding into here. Are we just meant to be calling these functions? I don't know. So if we call picky eater and we pass through a food, so let's say strawberry, I'm assuming that we should expect, okay, I can add in that. Okay, I think that's it. Let's just give that a go and see what happens. Next. Okay, no. Oh wait, I didn't add in a string, that's why, isn't it? I just put in the... Right. Do I have to add in all of these? Picky to... right, okay, there's a lot of things I've done wrong here. So, sloppy. I haven't got any excuses today, though I'm not tired. Right, let's try that. Is that better? Okay, we'll one error. Right, expected a string and it found an integer. Okay. Oh, wait, am I... right. Okay, I see what's meant to happen here. So we're saying that if we get that, we should assume that we get the yummy, but otherwise we should get no thanks to return. Is that right? So if I put in here, no thanks. Is that how it was written? Oops. Yeah, okay. Oh wait, no capital. Okay. Is that right? Neutral food failed. I can't tell if I've got that right, if it's working or not. Right, it failed. So one of the tests failed. So what do I need to do? It says running 3 tests. This default this. Right, okay, let's get this going. Right. So also on the failed neutral food. Am I meant to add like another statement in there? So we're saying if we get potato, then we should get... Could I just do else food equals to potato? Then what we're going to do is say I can't see the bottom of my screen because the thing's in the way. Potato. I guess I could eat that. Right, okay. I don't know what I'm doing. Is that correct? Oops. I guess I can eat that. Yeah, I think that's right. Okay, let's try that. We got it right. Okay, so we're plowing through this then. Right, let's get the final one done and we'll have a look at the other ones. And again, I can pick this up another time. So far though, I'm flying through this compared to the Zig programs because I think it took me a little bit longer than to get through 15 exercises. So I think 15 is a good place to end it on for this. So I guess there'll be one more after, or this may be the 15th, I'm not sure. What I would like to do though, it's getting quite dark in here now. Right, that is much better. Right, what I would like to do though, and again, this is where you guys can come in handy, is actually think about projects that we could work on, because amongst all of the beef with Jared Summers and Andrew Kelly, the one thing that I picked up on was a compliment from Andrew Kelly to Jared Summers, which was the fact that he has a great ability to just throw himself into projects. And I'm not saying create my own JavaScript framework, of course, but it just... I think it's the best way to learn sometimes. And to be fair, the past few months of learning C have been great. But I think I need a good project to end it on before we move on to another language. If that is going to be Zig, Rust, whatever. So far, I'm liking Rust. Again, it's up there with Odin in terms of simplicity to use. I know that Rust is easy until it's not. I'm aware of that. But we'll come across that. No language is easy. You're not going to have an easy path for any language. But my point is, so again, to use an analogy, if you're you're walking up a mountain, it's foggy, you can only see 100 meters ahead of you. But as you walk 100 meters, you'll see another 100 meters ahead of you. And the idea there is just the fact that, a lot gets revealed when you just move on and get through things. And I think that's what Andrew Kelly said about Jared Summers, which is quite a compliment. He just said he throws himself into projects, and that's how he's got a lot of the success that he has. So anyway, that's just something I wanted to mention. Okay. Moving on, final exercise. We'll probably leave it there and we'll pick up this another time. I'm really enjoying this though, and I'm not just saying that, I am really enjoying this, and it's different to what I'm used to. And it's a more modern alternative to C, so we're winning. Right, we've got a function here which so it says fix the compiler error in this statement below. So if the animal, so let identifier equal if, okay, that's a bit strange. Why we got, so creating a variable, but they're saying if animal is equal to crab, then we're going to send 1, else we're going to send 2.0. I'm assuming the issue here is that we're sending a string when in fact we should be sending, we're sending back a number when we should be sending back a string. I assume that's one of the errors. You can optionally experiment here. Don't change the expression below. Ah, right, okay. So we're creating a... Right, do I have to just add in let here? So do I have to do... No, I can't do that, surely. Yeah, no, I have to, though. Okay, I'm really confused by this now. So if I have that let identifier at the very start of an if statement, I'm wondering if all of the others that follow will be associated with that identifier. Or do I have to add the let identifier to each of these? So would I have to do something like this? I don't know. Let identifier. I don't know why it's gonna fail, so I may as well just try this. Because we're not sending it back, are we? So that's why, because we sent the string down here, so we're sending these back. Okay, interesting. Right, let's run that then and see what happens. It's probably not going to work. Expected one of... okay. So it's expecting either a semicolon, a comma. It's expecting an operator. Right, let's take a hint. Right, in Rust, every arm of an if expression has to return the same type of value. So make sure the type is consistent across all arms. Right, okay, so I'm assuming it's to do with that 2.0 then. Am I right in saying? So, right, what I'm going to do is just remove... Maybe I'll keep it actually just for a second, because maybe that would have come up with an error if I didn't do that. Ah, wait. Is it because there's an unknown there? Okay, right, let's try this again. Right, could not compile exercises again. It's saying it's come up with the gopher one. I'm trying to think what I've done there. Right, let's remove this. Just do that. Right, okay, there's more errors now. Somebody said yesterday, it was like, it was a comment that made me laugh. It was like, a programmer after my own heart, Happy Drake. I forget what it was. What was it? Disappointed Drake. I forget what it was, but it was like resolves the issue or spends a lot of time, and then it was like Happy Drake, just randomly changing a line, and then it compiles. And that's my philosophy of programming. I think it's everyone's to some extent. Right, I don't know what we've done here then. So we've got else if animal is equal to snake. Right, it's something to do with that unknown. So if we just change it to 4, because it doesn't really matter what that value is, I suppose, to some extent. So let's do that, and again, give it a go. I don't know what this is doing. I really don't know what's happening here. There we are. There we are. Okay, right. So the issue was then, let's just go back to that to make sure I soak that in. Yeah, so it's just the fact that one of them was a 2.0, one of them was a string when it should have been returning a number. Because because the reason why that was an issue is because identifier, we're assigning the value 1 to, I'm assuming. Let's just go back to hints there. What am I doing? Let's just go back to hints there. So every arm of an if expression has to return the same type to the value of value. So, right, okay. Is that only because we're assigning the if statement to a variable that we've created or value we've created? If someone could let me know, that would be fantastic. I'm assuming that it just means across the board, which again is interesting. Right, I'm enjoying this, so we're going to continue. We'll just do a couple more or one more. I don't know. We'll figure out primitive types. Okay, I don't know what that means, so let's have a little look. Right, booleans. Oh, right, okay, yeah, sorry. Right, we're looking at booleans. Primitive types then. So let is morning equal true. If is morning, then we'll print the line good morning. So again, if we do this, and we're going to have to say if is evening is true, then we will print. Wait, sorry, sloppy. Yeah, right. So we'll do this. Let is evening equal. Wait, is it asking for the opposite? So the value of the variable should be the negation opposite of is morning. Wait. Oh, wait. Right. Is it just? Does it just want us to? Oh no, I think it does want us to. So if I just do. I didn't know if it wants me to use the variable is no. Right. I'm having a brain fog moment, blonde moment. Let's just do that. I think that's right again. I don't know why it sometimes automatically does it, but sometimes it doesn't. What's the issue? Have I jumped one? Quiz. Oh, right, okay. I'm on a different one. Okay. Oh, well, that might be a good one to end it on then. Okay, so I changed the wrong one. So how do I get access to that then? So it's quizzes, and then we're on quiz. We're on quiz 1. Can't type today. Right. So this quiz then is for the following sections: variables, functions, and if. So let's get this done, and that's probably a good place to end it on because I think we're approaching an hour. I'm not sure if we are. Right. So Mary is buying apples. The price of an apple is calculated as follows. So we have an apple which costs 2 Rustbucks. However, if Mary buys more than 40 apples, the price of each apple in the entire order is reduced only by to only 1 Rustbuck. Wow, right, okay, so I have to write all of this. Okay, right, so so what do I have to do? I have to create a function called calculate price of apples, which is going to take in a number of apples, which we'll say will be I32. Doesn't really matter. So right, we're writing a function that calculates the price of an apple. So we'll say, wouldn't it just be no, if number is less than, what is it, 40, then we'll say number times how much is it going to cost? 2, else and we'll say, otherwise it's going to be num times. So if Mary buys more, it's reduced to 1. So we can just return number then, can we? Am I right in saying that? Yeah, okay. I think this is right. I don't know. Next. Wait, did I get it right? I don't know what's happening now. It won't let me... What's the issue? I don't know why it's not... Let's quit a second. Let's run that again. No hints this time. Have I done it right then? I don't know whether... Oh wait, no, sorry, it is giving me... Right, it has rerun it. Sorry. Right, okay. Right, okay, so... Oh wait, I've used parentheses again. Okay, Pete's sake. Right. Right, so that's that issue resolved. Again, the compile, it is handy having this, I will say. Right, so we've removed that. That seems to be... okay, there's an issue here. Oh, right, we haven't specified a type that we're returning. I32. Test failed. Is it because I haven't called it myself? Calculate. Okay, I do need to get a LSP and downloaded because it's just right. If I just do 35, okay, where's that failing? To rerun pass. What test is failing though? Test, verify. What tests have we got down here? So it's failing somehow. So is it something to do with the logic that I have here? Is it more than 40? Okay, right. So maybe it's this then. I've done that the wrong way around. I'm gonna see if that works. No, yeah, it's the wrong way around. I'm lazy, guys, if you couldn't tell sometimes. There we go. Right, well, why is that then? It doesn't tell me which test is failing though, which is why... So verify test, which is like the test suite, isn't it? Now it's saying... Okay, right, somebody's probably screaming at me right now at home, but I don't know what I've done wrong necessarily. So, right, Mary's buying apples. We pass through we create a function called calculate price of apples. We pass through a number, which is a type, it doesn't really matter as long as it's an integer. We then, what do we do then? What happens is it checks if that number is more than 40. If it's more than 40, oh wait, no, it can't be more than or equal to, it just have to be more than, surely. Because it's more than, it doesn't say, right. Yeah. And then what we're doing then is we are saying if it is more than 40, I've got the logic the wrong way around, haven't I? Ah. I don't know, I'm just changing things at this point. I haven't even been thinking. If the number's less than 40, the number... Yeah, no, sorry, I had that the wrong way around. Okay, right. If the number's less than 40, then we take the number and times it by 2. And then otherwise we're going to just return the number. So if it's more than 40... That should be right, shouldn't it? Yeah, because if it's 40, it's going to return 80. I'm struggling to see where I've done wrong, but and it's not giving me much. Okay, right. This one I'm stuck on. It seems like it's working. I mean, I would like to see the output. Or is it going to be something simple like I haven't? Because it doesn't matter. I don't need to print it out to the terminal, do I? I mean, can I do something like print? Can I do something like this? Do I need to put a comma? I forget, I haven't done this yet. So is it something like that? Output is 70. Why is the output 70? Oh, right, I put 35 through, that's why. So test failed, 0 passed, 1 failed. So 35 will return 70. Let's just try 40. Oh, right, 40 is returning 40. Why is it doing that? Ah, yeah, it does need to be less than equal to it. I'm so stupid sometimes. It genuine. Right, okay. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I think that is a good place to end it on, though. We're certainly almost coming up to an hour now. We must have hit an hour. Right. Thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. I do like learning Rust. It seems to be very interesting so far. Again, will my mind change? It seems to be changing a lot lately. Again, it's for me, all that I'm focusing on right now is quite literally learning C, but also just experimenting with other options out there, because I don't want to just become stuck fixed in one box. C is a fantastic language, but the compiler's not giving me much back. For someone like me who, you know, who wants to build big projects, again, you know, there's no excuses. Right, the answer that somebody who's a avid C programmer will give me, by the way, I love C, and I need to say that every time I say something somewhat bad about it, is, oh yeah, but you know, if that's how you really learn, you know, you don't, the compiler doesn't give you anything back, so you have to, you know, kind of retrace things and kind of effectively just do some backwards testing almost. It feels like, you know, you have to kind of, you know, use tools like O'Toole and things like that, and go through the instructions and see where you went wrong. That's not, it's time consuming. We've built some interesting projects with C. You know, we built Alexa. That was quite fun. We've built a TCP server and client, HTTP server. You know, the first simple application we built was a to-do app, but I really want to delve deep into it, get my teeth sunk into a real big project. And I think that C is not going to, I could see that I'd be extremely frustrated with C. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I love C. I'm going to continue to play around with it, but I want to look at what else is out there. So Rust may be that for me. Seems quite nice. Seems quite interesting. I'll leave it at that for now. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Again, if you've got any suggestions about what you would like to see from me next, leave a comment down below. I'll try and answer to all the comments I can. Thank you all for the support, by the way. I'd need to mention that. I shouldn't have done this so late later on in the video, but I'm very, very grateful for every single one of you who subscribed, every single one of you who left a comment. I do see them. Sometimes I don't reply, sometimes I do. Please get involved. I've got the idea of making a Discord server soon, just for people who are interested in learning low-level programming. We can all get together and have a little community where we can interact with each other as well. If you guys have got any questions, leave them below. I'm sure I have more questions for you guys, which is why I need a live stream. Let me know what you think of the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.